Happy Tuesday, and welcome to Tuesdays with Jane. Today we're going to make this card using the Snowflake Wishes stamp set from Stampin Up and the matching dies. My dies, unfortunately, are not on a magnetic sheet yet because I actually ran out. But what I've decided to do, I showcase a different stamp set each week, and this week it's the Snowflake Wishes. And I decided where I usually do my live video on Thursday nights for Thursday's card, I decided that I was going to take Tuesdays and take Tuesday's card and create a video during the day for the card that I make on Tuesdays. So this is today's card, just a very quick and easy card. Nice layers, simply stamped on the inside, and a little bit of embossing. If you'll just give me a minute, let me just quick throw this through the embossing machine, because I did try to prepare everything needed for the card, so it's not a long, drawn out video. I know during the day everybody's so very busy. And if you didn't know, this Snowflake Wishes actually does come in a bundle, and the bundle is called Snowflake Splendor, and it comes with the stamp set and a set of 8 matching dies, a pack of designer series paper with very pretty snowflake pattern paper. And for the coordinating colors, if you didn't know, if you turn over the designer series paper, sorry if it's a little blurry, I don't really know why that's like that today. You can find your coordinated colors right on the back of your designer series paper. And for this one, it's Balmy Blue, Coastal Cabana, Highland Heather, Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy, Pacific Point, Pool Party, and Whisper White. And guess what? My card is made with Seaside Spray, none of the coordinating colors, but I happened to find a piece of one of the designer series paper that has some Seaside Spray color in it. And then you also get a spool of nice sparkly ribbon, and let's see, some adhesive back snowflakes, and I think I have the others down here. And you also get snowflake sequins that I threw in my pile, and these are cute. I made a shaker card for this week, but there's snowflakes. And then you also get an embossing folder with snowflakes. So it really is a great collection. It takes all the guesswork out of creating your cards. So let's get started. I have all my dimensions for the card right here. And again, I'm not really too sure why this seems so fuzzy, but let's see if I can get this to focus a little bit. Just give me a second. Maybe if it's on autofocus, so hopefully that'll help it a little bit more. So as you can see, I have the basic card base, and it is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Really don't like that. Let's see. Maybe that's a little better. So we're just going to take our bone folder, give this a nice crease. And I am going to change this one up a little bit because I do not really like the way it looks so flat. So our next layer is the Seaside Spray, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then we have the Whisper White, 5 1/4 by 4, which I ran through this cut and emboss machine with the Snowflake embossing folder. Now this one I am going to, instead of snailing or using the Stampin' Seal, I am going to use the liquid multi-purpose glue. This way there's no danger of me flattening out these snowflakes. If you run that snail or seal, Stampin' Seal, used to be called snail, on the back of your embossed sheet of paper, it will flatten out the embossing. So we're just going to put this on, and I like the glue too because it gives you a few minutes to realign it. So that'll be your layer. And this time I think what I'll do is grab some dimensionals, and we're going to pop this layer up. This way it'll just give the card a little bit more dimension. And like I said, I just don't like that this card looks so flat. So let's get these off and pop this onto the front of this card and see how it looks. I was going to jump onto YouTube, but I have to look at that a little bit. For some reason, my camera was saying it was mirrored, and it wasn't. So I'm not sure what that is all about. So I figured I would just create the video, and I'll download it when I'm done. So there you go. It looks just a little bit different. I mean, nothing too drastic, just a little subtle. But I just like, maybe that's a little better. I just like the way that looks. Sorry for the movement, just trying to find the perfect spot. Okay, so what did I do with my, here it is. So then we have the banner, and the Seaside Spray banner is 2 by 3, and then the designer series paper is 1 7/8 by 2 7/8. And what I did is took this banner punch, and I'm going to do it backwards. We'll turn this around this way, and we're going to line this up, if you can see that. So the edges of the paper are right up against these sides here, and even from both sides. And I'm just going to turn it for a minute just so I can take a look. And you want it pretty even from end to end on this. And let's see how it looks. And that looks like it's pretty good. And then we're going to do the same on this one. Line it up, get those corners on that line. And when I say the line, I mean this line here, making sure that there's equal distance from edge to edge in that opening. And give it a little, you see I missed that one corner. So we're just going to grab our snips and just give that a little trim. And there's our banner. So we're going to adhere these two banners together. This is a nice, quick, and easy card that you can send out for Christmas. There's nothing too difficult about creating this card. So we're just going to line this up, one on top of the other. And again, I use the glue. It gives me a couple extra seconds to move it around. And then we're just going to take this banner and pop it up onto the front of the card. Now I guess I'm sure everybody saw my post. Like I said, I was going to go live, and then I couldn't. My husband's been ill for quite a few years, and he decided he did not want any further treatment. So he is now monitoring his blood pressure, his O2 stat, his heart rate, his glucose numbers, and his weight on a daily basis. So we do an in-home doctor's appointment, we like to call it. And this morning, and what happens is when his numbers are a little wonky, if that's even a word, they do call us to find out how he's feeling, to make sure he's not having any issues. And when we did the appointment this morning, his heart rate was at 48 and his O2 stat was at 77. And that's low. We're not really too sure why, but he is in bed. He's not really feeling too good. So I was waiting for the VA to give us a call, and they didn't. So I decided I was going to jump in and create this next card. And as I'm talking to you, I'm just looking around to see where I put my little snowflake, and I'm not sure where it disappeared to. So we have our banner. Then what I did was on Whisper White, I stamped, and look at that shadow there. Let's try this. Now that's better. I embossed one of the snowflakes in silver, and then I cut it out with the coordinating die. And then I took a second die with the snowflake a little different and die cut that. And then let's see what I did with it, painted it with the Frost White all-purpose ink. I just took a paintbrush and painted it over. Now you may want to be careful because it does make it a little, it gives it a shine, but this is such a thin dye in spots that it is making it fold up a little bit. So you may want to be careful with that. And then since I don't know what I did with my other little snowflake here, of course, we're just going to give this a quick stamp with our Seaside spray. Give that a stamp. And if you're just joining, here are the dimensions for all the layers. If you wanted to write them down, I'm not going to post them on my blog. I'll just have it available right here on this video. It just makes things a little easier for me today. And I did want to get this video going, so let me just cut this out. And I don't think it cut. No, it did not. Let me try that again. I can't wait until the new little mini cut and emboss machine is available. And this way I can do it right on camera and I don't have to disappear and you can actually see it. Not that everybody needs to see it, but at least I can cut it out and stay within the frame of the camera. So there's that. Just put that over there. So I cut out, even stamped and cut out a smaller snowflake. And the reason I did that is because we are going to layer these snowflakes onto the front of this card. Now you'll remember we popped up the banner, and I want to glue, or I want to attach this snowflake, so it's going to be higher on this side, and I don't want it to look crooked. So we are just going to take our snowflake and add dimensionals. And as you can see, I just cut little pieces so it fits right onto the back of this. Here's another half. So half of this is going to be popped up. And then the other half, we're going to add a bit of glue. Let's take off this paper. Like I said, because we're going to place half of it onto the banner and half of it onto the card front. You may just want to rub this down a little bit, and there your snowflake is nice and level across all the different layers. Now we're going to take this snowflake and I'm going to do the same thing. Let me just grab a different set of, that's not good either, a different set of dimensionals, because I just want to cut a nice thin piece, just like that, because for this snowflake, there's not much area to add, and I wanted to pop this snowflake up onto the other snowflake, giving it a little bit more dimension. So I just want to put it into the center, cutting it small enough to fit in the middle of this snowflake. You naturally become all thumbs when you're trying to work with little areas. And then we're just going to peel these papers off. Save that. And then we're going to offset this snowflake and put it directly into the center. Now, before we put this little snowflake on, I just want to cut a little strand of the ribbon, and we're just going to create a little folded over bow. And to hold this together, we'll use some glue dots. And as you can see, these are leftover glue dots from one of my paper pumpkin kits. Those kits give you so many supplies that there's always extra. And I just don't like seeing anything go to waste, so I always save all my extra adhesives. Okay, so we're just going to put that glue dot on, fold this over, give it a good pinch, and because these are cut in opposite directions, we're just going to trim those off. And then we're going to set it right in the center of this card. Oops. And then add the little snowflake. Now for the original card, I did use the For You, as you can see right here, from the, trying to think which one that was. I want to say Itty Bitty Keepsakes. Tiny Keepsakes. I used the For You. Now this is no longer available. So I'll leave that off on this card. And I think what we'll do is, since we won't have that little sentiment, but there is a sentiment on the inside, let's just add a little bling. And we'll just add an odd number of rhinestones. And we'll put this one here. You'll have to be careful. Put one right into the center of this snowflake right there. Bling just makes a big difference. And I'm going to have to check on my camera to see why it seems so foggy today. It's not a very clear picture, which is annoying. Okay, so let's head on to the inside of the card. Now the outside is done. We'll get this out of the way. And the inside, I do the same thing with layers. I have a Seaside Spray at 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and my Whisper White, which is 5 1/4 by 4. Now mine will be a little different because I just noticed this rough edge here, and I just want to give that a little trim so it's a nice crisp edge, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is take the Snowflake Wishes for a Very Merry Christmas stamp. Just wipe off my block. It's seen some busy days here lately. And we are, get that piece of paper off. We're going to stamp this sentiment. I think I did it towards the bottom. Let's take a look. Over, down towards the bottom and to the left-hand side. So make sure your paper is level and your stamp is even. And then give it a good stamp. And that looks good. Okay. So now that we have that stamped, just going to grab a thin scrap just to add to the inside of the card. Let's close this up. Now, what I did is, I'm going to get up again, but here's the embossing folder. I am just going to take the insert and put it right up to the bottom of the sentiment. And I'm just going to quick run this through my embossing machine. So give me a second so I can run this through quick. Oops. Just want to go nice and easy when you do this, because you don't want it to get misaligned. So as you can see, all I did was run the bottom edge, and then so it doesn't have such a sharp ending, we're just going to add a bit of glue to a scrap, and we're going to line this up right under the sentiment, just like that. Make sure it's right to the edge and it's even, and then just give this a little trim, just like that. Now let's adhere it to our base. Making sure it's even all the way around. And that looks good. Then we're going to add our flower for every season piece of twine. And as you can see, it is actually Misty Moonlight, but it has silver and white. And it does resemble the Seaside Spray when you get it tied and all together on your card. So we're just going to add this to the bottom. Hopefully next week I will have the YouTube figured out and I will go live instead of downloading a video. And I was going to tie a knot first, and I think I will. Maybe just a little bit bulky with this twine to have a knot. And that's good. And then we're just going to tie a little bow. As you can see, I'm still attached to my spool. So let's just tie this bow. Put your finger on the knot, and then your little tails and your loops won't be all tangled. Give it a quick little trim. And let's get this into the card. And there you go. A nice, quick, and easy Christmas card in the cool colors of winter. I hope everybody got their dimensions, and I hope you enjoyed this quick little video in the middle of the day. Have a great rest of the weekend. Hopefully I'll have YouTube figured out by next week, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.